So GameStop is not the only culprit for charging above MSRP now for, I guess, retail stores, big box stores, whatever you want to call them. Everybody has been talking about GameStop, recently. An article came out that I talked about where, GameStop was charging over MSRP for Destined Rivals products, and it could have, be seen to be a good or bad thing because by charging more at these stores, scalpers would be less enticed to buy and scalp them, and therefore maybe more product for collectors. Obviously, then people would have to pay more, but it's a give and take, so it could be seen to be a good thing. But like I said, GameStop now is not the only one doing this. Apparently now, some Walmarts are doing the exact same thing, and they're charging more than MSRP. And Walmart is doing this by a large margin. I'm honestly pretty surprised they're doing it this much. Like I feel like GameStop having like a 20% to 30% sort of markup was like all right. Like that's not terrible, but $90 for an ETB is pretty, that's pretty, expensive for an ETB. And I think it's way overcharging what they would probably need to maybe if they wanted to, prevent or deter scalping. They're doing way too much because this at this point is actually more than market price. So Walmart is charging more than market price for the ETB, which is probably going to deter scalpers 100%, but it's also going to deter regular people. But hey, there will still be people buying these to open up. It's around the same price as market, it's just like a tiny bit more. But I think it is kind of crazy that they're marking up this much. Now, I haven't checked my Walmart or Targets. I'm kind of done. Like on Prismatic, that was kind of the only day I did it. I guess Journey Together, I was able to find something like a day before whatever release. But I wasn't specifically really looking for Pokemon really that much. Like I'm not one of those people that really goes to these stores and tries to hunt down stuff. It's honestly from the Prismatic release day, it kind of set the tone. I don't like doing it. It feels kind of weird and just off. And when I saw, I made a video if you want to watch it with Prismatic on release day. In my experience, that just day alone just was like, yeah, I don't want to do this. I felt weird, and it was just kind of seeing all the people rush, like it was weird. So I don't do this whole thing. But let me know in the comments below if you guys have maybe just gone out to a store like Walmart to maybe check on the card section, or maybe you're camping out, whatever you're doing. Let me know if you've been able to find any Destined Rivals products on the shelves, and have you guys seen these prices at Walmart? Because personally, with me, I don't know if they are doing this at my local Walmart, but I wouldn't be too surprised. But yeah, apparently some are charging $90 now for an ETB, which is ridiculous. So let's just read some of the comments and we'll be done. So first here, I need this hobby to turn into the shoe market. When scalpers increase their prices so much that everyone stopped caring and plummeted the market, you can get $1,000 shoes for dirt cheap now. I don't care about the value of my cars. I have no plans on selling and just collect ones I like. Let the market sink to the bottom of the ocean. It's quickly gonna happen a lot, and a lot of people are gonna lose some serious money when it does. I always see, I guess these sorts of comments, and I'll probably make a video talking about this, just how everyone talks about this like end of the world scenario with Pokemon, a multi-billion dollar company, the largest media grossing franchise, whatever, talking about this point where everything's worthless. It's kind of, in my opinion, a weird thing to talk about with such a big company, in that we've never really seen that sort of scenario where it was that terrible across the board, at least recently. But okay, people really be paying an average of $10 per pack now at these scalper prices. For some bulk cards, it's nuts. $500 to open 50 packs. Lol. Well, I mean, you look at some sets like Prismatic, or even some other sets, like you could say with Sword and Shield. Yeah, I mean, people do pay those prices to open stuff up. And people, I mean, you think about it, also pay some pretty hefty prices for some older packs too. And some people do open them. So I get it. It's a newer set and stuff, but people do pay those prices. This is on everyone who gives in and feeds the scalpers / investors. In my opinion, this is 100% because of the greed of distributors. I don't believe the big box stores would charge this amount unless they are having to pay a lot more themselves, but I could be wrong, and they could just be taking a page out the scalper handbook. Yeah, I doubt it's Walmart itself. They are a low margin business. So I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but stores or like these distributors are not allowed to charge over I guess the wholesale pricing, at least on the first wave of product, something like that. I've heard that somewhere. And if that's the case, obviously Walmart isn't charging this amount because they're having to pay more in that theory. I'm just honestly guessing. I don't think they're doing this because of making more money. I really think Walmart is probably just doing this to prevent scalping, but I think it is kind of too much, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they are trying to make more money. But I feel like, Pokemon cards is such a small part of their business. It's barely anything where they'd really care to do that to make more money. I really feel like it's more of the anti-scalping thing, but I think it is a little bit gone too far. Is this not price gouging unless ETBs raised $40 in price last time I checked? Legally, price gouging is something that only pertains to critically needed goods. Yet price gouging is not really the correct term. The hobby's over. See you guys in another 10 years. See, some people I see like comment these things. It's like they want you to feel bad for them or something. Like, no, this hobby is not over. People act like this stuff is not going to blow over, right? Look at what happened in 2021, right? Things blew over eventually. The same exact thing's going to happen here. It's not over. You don't have to have this sob pity for yourself. It'll end maybe in the next, I don't know, anyone's guess. Few months, could be a few months, couple years. It's not going to be 10 years. We're not going to have 10 years of a market like this. That's not going to happen. So you can feel bad for yourself and you can try to make things seem worse than they are, but it'll probably be in max like a year or two, in my opinion. I'm so glad I'm not addicted to ripping packs. I really wanted a few ETBs for my collection, though. Hopefully I can find some at retail eventually. Yeah, so, for ETBs and stuff, for main sets, I would probably wait, especially buying, those because, for specialty sets like prismatic, I've argued before, maybe buying some, when they get reprinted, restocked would be good because, especially ETBs, we see how some have performed and how the reprinting situation is with those. Buying some, at those prices on restock stuff may not be a bad idea, but for main sets with regular ETBs, definitely you don't want to be paying like $100 for a normal ETB. I think that is kind of crazy. And the part on ripping packs and stuff, that's the whole reason why, like I've talked about it before, I got into this whole hoarding of sealed product, right? I mean, I just opened stuff up. I wasted a lot of money. I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of done doing this. And then I found this sort of space, and that's how I got here. Buy singles. If you need to feed a gambling addiction, find a cheaper way. Scalpers are never going to stop. It's just the way of the world. As long as TPC doesn't print to demand, your options are to pay scalper prices or stop buying sealed and feeding the RNG machine in your brain. Just the way it is. It's all your faults. Good. This is the natural market reaction to scalpers and those who buy from them. Pokemon, unfortunately, will turn into a luxury collectible. Okay, everyone's just mad. People don't believe me. Scalpers, just more scalpers. Just everyone complaining about scalpers. We get it, right? But, the argument still could be made here with like GameStop, where they're charging more to prevent scalping and hopefully, in that way kind of deter them and maybe stop the whole thing. But, it's pretty hard because people complain that Walmart's now a scalper, but if, they just have normal pricing like MSRP, they'll complain that scalpers bought everything, right? You can't win in this situation. Everybody's just going to cry and complain about scalpers. Yeah, we get it. People scalp and want to make money. It is what it is. You can't get rid of them. And yeah, it'll eventually go away, but just everyone is going to keep complaining about scalping. I don't know how long it'll be lasting for here. I mean, Black Bolt White Flare set seems to be a set that might be hyped up. Maybe that'll get scalped too. But past that, maybe there'll be a dud set and people will stop scalping. But we're yet to see that because Destined Rivals will probably get scalped. I mean, at these prices, probably not, but there probably are still stores out there selling at MSRP and they're going to get scalped. So, stay tuned. We're probably going to be seeing more posts about evil scalpers and how their child probably got an ETB taken out of their hand. I'll probably make, those videos, talking about those Reddit posts because it's honestly crazy to me how many people take time out their day to go on these subreddits and complain and whine about scalping when literally everybody knows what's going on. We get it. But it's just kind of funny to see how many people actually complain, go online and write paragraphs about scalpers. It is what it is. Like, that's what I've always said. I don't have opinion because they're doing what they're doing. And I mean, you can't really get rid of them, right? Unless you want to, charge $90. You probably won't have any scalpers then. So that's all I want to talk about here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.